Well, you're sounding great up here in the Lehigh Valley, Mark. Over.
Yeah, we won't be on here much longer. I'm almost destinated, as they say, on higher frequencies. So I appreciate you guys putting up with my little flea signal here and keeping me company while I make the trip back.
Oh, check in again anytime.
I have a real radio station at home, but usually too busy this time of the day.
Mark,
Run what you brung.
That was a double.
I just wondered what your call sign was. I didn't catch it.
I
got
Norway
here too
3,
late.
Radio, Mexico, Radio, N3, RMR, mobile.
I believe the band is starting to stretch out here.
Yeah, I agree, Rich. Signals are suddenly taking a tumble.
Well, you're getting louder, Paul, but I don't hear the local guys now.
Yeah, that's the funny thing, you know. Suddenly I'll build to like 20 over 9, and then it'll completely vanish. It's like, time for dinner.
Yeah, even though Bobo was 20 over.
Into the Lehigh Valley.
I'm glad I'm reaching Allentown, Tom.
Well, I've got the WA3 your DJB preset on here, Paul, using the stepper.
I like that. Got a little label on there, VJB radio. Hey, what's with your audio? Did the cat mess with your pots again?
Oh, I don't know. Let me turn on the modulation.
It's just not very dense, and there's no high end, blah, blah, blah. You know, you can sound so much better.
Yeah, let me bring up the modulation monitor.
Okay, yeah. In times past, we blamed the cat.
Well, this stuff hasn't been used in 4 or 5 months. Let's see. Interesting. I'll let you guys make a transmission. This thing isn't booting up.
Yeah, okay. Give me a report on how your wife's doing after the anteater attack. Boy, what a story. I was telling that to Pam when I got back in the house. This anteater, you guys, started going for Tom's wife's backpack while they were somewhere in South America. And she jumped off this train to get away from it. Quite a story. However, the broken leg was not a good thing.
No, it wasn't. Here, let's see. I could probably... Yeah, I'm overdriving this thing. Hang on a minute. Shoo, boy, I'll tell you. Main mix here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, I'm about 100 positive peaks and about 100 on negative. Let's try if this is a little bit. It's possible the EQ was messed with here on the 528E processor. So you'll have to let me know if it's okay. If not, I'll have to just check all the. It's in a rack and it's sort of at knee height, and it's easy to bump some of the EQ settings and so on. So I've got a Xerox of how I had them set here somewhere in the file. I'll have to go back and look at this. Now, Rich, we were Paul and I were talking the other day. I haven't been on AM in probably 3 years, 4 months, and we went on a trip to South America on October 8th. And on the 21st, we were still down there in Iguazu National Park, looking at the falls. And you take a national park train. It stops at various points along the way. They're the largest waterfalls in the world. And we're at the first viewing point, and we come back, and we get on the train. And before we get on the train, there are these Coatis, C-O-A-T-I, and basically anteaters, but they're a derivative of a raccoon. They're everywhere. I mean, they're to the point where there's hundreds that swarm the tourists that come in. And if you've got any food in a backpack whatsoever, you're up, up the creek, so to speak, because they seek you out. So we get back on the train to go to the next stop, and before the train takes off, my wife moves to the non-platform side of the car, and sitting with some friends that we met on the trip. And I'm on the other end of the little car that holds eight people, or it's a little compartment. It's the seat. There's about 10 or 12 of these little seating compartments, and I hear everybody scream, and she's on the ground screaming. She apparently, one of these critters tried to get into her backpack. She's deathly afraid of this sort of thing, of animals, and she gets spooked easily. And she thought she was on the track side, or the station side, where it was only down a foot or one step to get off the car, and she jumps off the train, and the ground, the gravel rail bed is about 4 feet below, and she does an uncontrolled fall and breaks her leg. Now we're in Argentina, and we got to get her home 5,000 miles, and I looked immediately, I knew her leg was broken. So it was an interesting trip. It was a 4-day journey to get her. Well, we stayed down there 3 days in the hotel, and finally got arrangements to fly out, and then it took us 24 hours to get home. Got operated on 3 weeks ago. She's patched up. She's back together, but and it'll heal. It'll be fine. I mean, the surgeon's a friend of ours, and wonderful young guy that goes to our church, and he's an orthopedic sports medicine guy, and patched her up, but it's going to be 5 or 6 months. So anyway, that's the for full recovery anyway. So that's what Paul was talking about. And 3CXP.
Oh my God, what a horror story. God. Argentina with a broken leg. Did they patch her up at all there? And is it the type of situation where they won't let you leave the country till you pay your medical bill?
Yeah, all of the above. Yes, they patched her up. Yes, we went to a public hospital, not a private hospital, because it was the only clinic we could go to, and it was in a jungle clinic, basically, first aid center. You pull up under a canopy, it's a dirt floor. It's like bush country, and although the hotel was quite nice, but the medical facilities were not. And then we had to get sign-offs from the emergency physician. They called in an orthopedic guy who was actually quite good, and he, through Google Translator, he explained to me exactly what she would need, and she did. And but he splinted her with just a half splint, like a dugout canoe, and put a bend in it so she could at least get in an airplane seat. But we had to prove that she could get into an airplane seat and all of that. And we flew business class home. It's a heck of a way to get a business class ticket. I had to pay for mine, but hers and the flight nurses was covered by the flight insurance, the trip insurance. So it was 8 or 9 days till we could get her operated on back here. But probably was best anyway, because the swelling had to get down. But anyway, so that's the story, Rich.
Wow. Well, I'm glad she's doing better, but not much of a vacation. Well, anyway, good to hear you again there, Tom. I think I'm going to get out of here. I'm not hearing the local guys now, so I think I'll head upstairs. I've been down here a few hours anyway, so I guess we'll start using the frequency again, and maybe those slop bucketers will go away. Take the hint. WH3VJB in the group. I'm going to listen out, K1ETP.
Okay, Rich. Yeah, sorry I came in late. I know you guys were underway for a while, and I was listening to you. As a matter of fact, doing some stuff here. As you saw, I was cutting and sleeving some film negatives so I can put them in the VJB archives. If I don't keep up with that, man, they get ahead of me. I've been having a great time this year, shooting a lot of 35mm film and learning a lot of stuff about manual cameras, thinking about it all myself. And you and I have talked about You know, your old days in the 60s of shooting film. I guess I'm kind of rediscovering it. It's quite a thing. If I were taking a trip to Argentina, for example, I know I'd have many, many rolls with me. Maybe not so much the anteaters that Tom has described, but at least the scenic presentations that we were there to see. Hopefully it wasn't too abbreviated, Tom, because of the calamity that took place. So yeah, we'll see you, Tom. We got a lot of people in here. Good to hear everybody, as a matter of fact, this evening. Trying to get recalibrated to Eastern Standard Time and the band conditions that accompany. Yeah, I heard that zero beat. But anyway, folks, everybody was 7 by 9, as KC2 UFU once told me. Carrie, you're 7 by 9, Paul, 7 by 9. I put it on a Post-it note on the board here. It's like, wow, I made it to 7 by 9. It's amazing. So catch you later, Rich.
7 by 9.
Yeah, man. Steve, how are you? And
Excellent, Paul. Coming in great, sounding good.
Yeah, I'm duping with you. I'm listening in one of the STRs. But anyway, go ahead, make a transmission, and I'm going to head out to feed the dogs here pretty soon myself. WA1QIX, WA3VJB Annapolis.
Yeah, very good. You're sounding great. I'm testing out a remote control mobile setup here. The only thing I've got to do, I got to get some DSP to kill the low end below about 50 cycles, because it's pretty strong in the car. You can hear I'm just idling. If I stop talking, I'm sure you can hear that very well. Anyway, sounding good. The sound system in this car is excellent. It really is. It's very, very good. So that's it. Just wanted to say hi, and I'll be listening on my short drive home from the grocery store to Mirror Lake. WA3VJB, I possibly signing. And the group here is a big group, WA1QIX, Remote Control Mobile.
WA1, y'all are officially back in here.
Hey, Timmy.
Hey, Paul.
Hey, who was the mobile who listens to you all the time?
I don't really remember his call, but he's the capital of Pennsylvania.
Oh, yes, Ed PUN territory.
Yep. Right. Well, judging by the flutter on nearby shortwave broadcast, you can tell when the band begins to go long, it's probably going to be a real train wreck.
Yeah, that's the case. I heard P-Dub in here, too, quite strapescent with the 4x1 rig, so there's still some life in the band, but it's going to turn long pretty soon. That's the fate of fall-winter radio, man. You're going to have to migrate back to 75.
Well, that's no biggie. And Tom, N3CXP, I came in while you were talking about the bad situation. Where'd you say you were? Argentina? And your wife fell from a subway platform or something like that?
Hi, Tim. Hi, Steve. Well, yeah, you only got half the story. No, it wasn't a subway platform. We were in the jungle. This was at Iguazu National Park in the rainforest, and but they do have a train to take all the tourists to see the Iguazu Falls, which are the biggest in the world. So anyway, we were reboarding the train, and my wife moved to the non-station side of the car, whereupon these coatis, which are anteaters, which were invading the area, the station, because all the tourists had some sort of, crackers or food in their knapsacks, and they get very curious, and one get in our car, and my wife is deathly afraid of anything like that. They're like a big raccoon with a snout on them. They're anteaters. And it started sniffing around at her, and she said, "I'm out of here," and she failed to look before she leapt. so she went down and broke her tibial plateau and her fibula. So, Tim, that's the story.
Oh, God. Yeah, when one ventures into other areas like that, you have to be prepared, but whatever. Anteaters are harmless. They don't bother humans.
Well, I accept that in the jungle ambulance, one of the other people in the group got bit and needed stitches and rabies shots.
Oh.
Not a good thing.
Oh, not a good thing.
No, that's not a good thing.
But, you know, my wife tends to
So,
freak out a little bit on this
I
sort of
take
thing.
it
She's
she's
just
all
not good
patched
with
up and in the recovery mode.
You know, like raccoons sniffing around at her backpack when she's wearing it.
Oh, yeah, I would not be happy about that. So, yeah, I doubled with you or Paul a little bit. So, she's all patched up and in recovery mode, I take it.
Yeah, I just switched over to the beam here, but yeah, she's was operated on 3 weeks ago. She's got at least 3 weeks till she can even do toe touches there with her foot on the ground, and then we'll slowly start to put weight on it. About 8 weeks, she'll be able to put about 60% of her weight on it. So we've got at least 3.5 weeks to go till we get a little bit of weight on it. So we're pushing her around, and she's doing well. Thanks for asking. She's well along on recovery.
Hey, man, all the
Well,
best.
that's good. Well, I hope to hear nothing but positive stories. We go on through our passages of life.
Jorge, I'm going to go feed the dogs, so maybe I'll be back later tonight to see what's going on. W81HLR, WONQAX, maybe KD2BRM, N3CXP, 73 from Annapolis, where everybody is 7 by 9. WA3VJB out of here for now.
Thanks, Paul. Hey, is my audio straightened out? Look at
799,
something.
old man. Hi. I would be hi doing the right things, and then I could hand out reports like that. Yeah, I'm not going to stay in her much longer.
See you later, Paul. Have a good night. Maybe talk to you later.
I've been doing cleanup in the hair shack. Notably, the trash can I use, which I think my dad used to have, or something like it, you know.